My name's Ben. I will be doing the rifle demonstration for you here today. Before I actually fire off this rifle, I'd like to talk a little bit about the soldiers that we're here representing and what they would have been doing here at Fort Mackinac. So what you see me wearing is the 1880s United States dress uniform, specifically the 23rd United States Infantry Company E. These men were stationed here for a rather unique purpose. This was a national park from 1875 until 1895. And before the National Park Service was created, it was the Army and the War Department that was tasked with the care and keeping of the parks. So the soldiers here had to enforce the rules of the park, take care of it, make it look nice, as well as engage with tourists and guests to show them the natural beauty of Mackinaw Island. They were still, however, a military organization as part of the Army, and they had military duties as well. This was during a time when the Army was trying to modernize quite a bit. And so one of the ways they were doing this was with this new rifle. This is a 4570 Springfield 1873 rifle, commonly referred to as a trapdoor for its loading mechanism. This was a vast improvement over the rifles and muskets of times before, which were all muzzle loaders. You would simply take, for a muzzle loader, you would have to take the piece, put it in front of you, take a paper cartridge, tear the cartridge, pour the powder, seat the bullet, ram the bullet, prime the weapon, and after all of that, you were finally ready to fire. With this weapon, all you have to do is take back the hammer a couple times, flip open the breech block, like so, and insert a rather modern-looking brass 4570 round. It's so-called 4570 because it is a 45 caliber bullet atop 70 grains of black powder. This wasn't, however, the most modern technology available at the time, but the Army was pretty well satisfied with it. You can still see, if you've ever watched a Western movie with John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, the guys running around with these lever-action repeater rifles, such as the Winchester. Those did exist at the time period, but the Army was fairly small and fairly cheap. They were very concerned about wasting ammunition. They wanted to make sure every shot had a chance at hitting something, rather than just going out guns blazing. To that end, they required the soldiers here at Fort Mackinac and across the country to take rifle training practice twice per week at least. The men here at Fort Mackinac would have used the two rifle ranges located behind the fort. One is a 600-yard rifle range that is now Rifle Range Road. The other would have been a 1,000-yard rifle range, which is now east of Fort Holmes. The men here, they would have qualified for different designations, whether that could be a sharpshooter or a marksman. A marksman is someone who could hit a small target with about 80% consistency at 600 yards. A sharpshooter could hit a 1,000-yard target about the size of a horse at about 80% consistency. Fort Mackinac was considered the third most accurate garrison of the time, and of the 80 or so men that were stationed here, 40 of them qualified as marksmen, and about a dozen qualified as sharpshooters. To put that into perspective, from where you guys are sitting to the white lighthouse out in the harbor, that's roughly 1,000 yards. So they were hitting fairly small targets at that distance. It was so long, in fact, that they had a telephone system in place at the rifle range. You would have a spotter sitting by the target, and when the shot came in, they would pick up the phone and call whoever just shot it and tell them whether they missed, whether they hit, and which direction to correct for. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and step back. I'm going to fire 3 shots here. Unfortunately, due to some rather obvious safety concerns, I will be firing blanks and not actual bullets. So we will be using the full 70 grains of powder. It will be a bit loud. I'm going to go ahead and take out my bright orange, historically inaccurate earplugs for my hearing protection. And I recommend that you use your historically accurate natural earplugs located at the tips of your fingers. They can be inserted as such. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and I do hope you enjoy. That will conclude the rifle demonstration for today. Immediately